Welcome to episode 27 of Beyond the Rider with my very special guest, Harley Fatboy Jr. How are you, sir?
Aloha, sir. Brother Breaker, man. Appreciate you, brother.
I had to kind of bring myself up to speed on Hawaiian. I don't know any. I'll just pretend I do. Aloha's hello and goodbye, right?
That's confusing. Buddy. Yeah, well, it's a lot more than that too, man. It's a lot more than that. Yeah.
But we're not going to do the haka or the hookah or anything.
No, I won't do the haka for you today, man. It's been a long time.
I was ready. I could watch those videos all day on YouTube. I don't know why. That's cool stuff. So anyway, sir, I'm really sorry. I know we've had some scheduling issues, but I'm really glad to sit down and talk to you, sir.
Hey, so, appreciate you, man.
Really appreciate you, sir, and I appreciate all the support you give the community. So for folks that don't follow you, tell them a little bit about your channel, your social media. We'll start from there.
Oh man, where do I start? Man, I'm just an island boy, man. Yeah, in the beginning there was. No, man, just an island boy here on the Pacific Northwest now. I was in San Francisco, California for a long time. And, honestly, just want to share, man. Just share the journey. I'm all about sharing. And, obviously this motovlog YouTube thing is super new to me. A little over a year ago, I got my Harley Davidson, my first Harley.
Nice.
It's that 30th anniversary Fat Boy blacked out edition.
That's a sweet bike.
Yeah, man. So I'm super, just real blessed, man, honestly. And it's just really, like I said, about sharing my journey, with just riding, my passion for riding. But first and foremost, man, I'm a family man. My wife and kids are my everything, and it all starts with them. They're my foundation. And coming up, my parents passed when I was early. When I was young. Sorry about that. Yeah, they passed when I was young. Sorry, I get choked up when I talk about it. But I don't have one video, man, of my parents coming up, and I barely have pictures. So I want to do something. Now these days, you have the iPhones and all these fancy things, and you can put in everything in Google and this, that, and whatever. But as far as video content, like I wanted to start, sharing the bike journey, but also have something for my kids to look back on, when I'm no longer around. But yeah, man, just here in Oregon, just doing my thing. Just again, man, it's all about just sharing and spreading law and just being a part of this motovlog community, man, because it's huge, it's massive, and everyone has just been great, super supportive, like yourself. I can go on and on the people that I can list that are out there that I've become pretty close to, man, through this motovlog thing. So, but yeah, man, again, thank you so much for having me on.
Oh man, my pleasure.
Yeah, I'm. Obviously it's the first one. I'm super nervous, but
you got the Shure microphone now, so you're Joe Rogan in it. We're good.
No, I'm gonna go return this thing after I'm done because I probably won't be on another one, bro. Like so.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, just kidding. And I tried to keep my mouth shut today when I was looking. I was like, oh, they're like, oh, what do you need it for? I'm like, I'm not really sure, man. I used to play music. I'm looking for something that's kind of up to date, knowing in the back of my mind that I have everything I need for the music, that I got going on. But obviously I was, going online, and the Blue Yeti was one I was looking at, and, and that's obviously probably half the price of this, but it's Shure, man. They make the best of the best. And so I ended up picking it up, and we'll see how things go.
They have I mean, I have the Yeti. It's okay, but it's not. That Shure has such a good sound to it. The intensity is really good.
I just don't know if I should be like here or. So,
he's doing late night radio.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like the guy in the club, like coming to the stage.
Let's get ready to rumble. That's funny. I do that in conference calls. When I first put this set up, I was using it in Zoom for work, and that's what I would do to drive people crazy. I'd lean in real close, and like, "Hello," I'm like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Just having fun, man."
Yeah.
So what got you
to, man?
Yeah. So what got you to start your channel?
Man, honestly, it was just when I first got the bike, I would go on YouTube and be like, Harley Fat Boy, upgrades or modifications or whatnot. And there was nothing on the Milwaukee 8s. Like all the Fat Boys, it was all like somebody walking around the bike. I think someone started it up. I think the first one I seen that was an actual legit video was Matt Laidlaw. And
His stuff's
And
great.
and he did a great one on that. But nothing on like, removing the stock pipes or this, installing, TBR shorty turnouts,
Hmm.
on a fat boy. There was just nothing, or, installing bars, grips, none of that stuff. So I didn't see a lot of that. So my buddy, who's actually my cousin's husband, who lives right down the road, super smart guy, Mr. Do It All. He can do everything from make shirts to sewing to installing 14-inch japes on a Harley.
Nice.
Like, guy does it all. So he was saying, like, well, I kind of asked, like, man, I should start a channel or whatever. And he and my wife were just like, yeah, you should. I mean, you got the personality, blah, blah, blah. They're kind of pumping me up a little bit. And so I was like, all right, let's do this. So one of the first videos I did was, installation of the two brothers racing shorty turnout pipes, and take from start to finish. So um there's that. And then, like I was saying, just wanted to kind of have something for my kids to kind of, you know, have with them when I'm no longer around. And they're super supportive too, man. My kids are involved. Well, mostly my 8-year-old daughter. She's involved in some of the stuff, and it's just fun, man. It's just having a good time. It kind of brings us together a little bit. And the hardest part is just coming up with decent content and, editing and doing all that other stuff, because it's a lot of work, man. It's a full-time job.
Yeah. Well, if you started with an install video, God bless you, because that's.
Yeah.
I always laugh when people
Yeah.
are like, "So how long did it take you to do that 30-minute job?" I'm like, I don't know, like
Yeah.
5 hours.
Right. Yeah. And you know what I tell people? I don't really care how long it took, because it saved me $1 billion. Because like Harley Davidson wanted, I think they wanted like close to 2 grand to install the bars. And that was without even, it wasn't like I was buying the bars from them. That was just for the installation, and not even including the cables. Like, that's a lot of money, man. So yeah, it did take, it took us probably 6, 7 hours, but it also cost zero, it didn't cost me a thing. So, and not only that, like, I've been riding for over 10 years, and I always in San Francisco with my Honda Shadow, I had a mechanic. So I would just take it to him to do whatever we need to do to it. I never paid attention. Now that I have a Harley, it's like I want to be able to learn more
Hmm.
about motorcycles in general, let alone Harley Davidsons, and kind of just do the work myself and kind of learn as I go. So I was super stoked. So my buddy helped me put on bars and pipes. And when I got the crash bars, I did the install by myself, and I was like super stoked. Like, it was super easy, but you're looking at, 26,000 bike. And I'm looking at this thing, it's brand new, and I don't want to scratch anything, and I don't want to break anything. And I don't really know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a
Hmm.
mechanic by any means. So, can I use some tools? Yeah, I can use some tools. I've wrenched on a couple of things. I put some desks together, and, did cable for a lot of years and whatnot. But, just the fact that I did that myself, and it changed the look of the bike, and they're super sleek. So just doing that, like, myself, I was like super stoked. And I'm like, yes, I'm gonna start doing all this stuff by myself. And so, installing the seat, like, a lot of stuff is easy, LED lights and whatnot. So yeah, man, it's just it's so much fun, man.
I
It's a
give you a
lot of
lot of
fun.
credit
And
because I'm afraid to tackle bars. I have 12s on my. I had my dealer put 12s on. I want to get put like 16s on it, and I don't.
yeah,
I'm just not there. I was like, I know I
yeah,
probably could do it, but I'm like, "Ugh."
yeah, right.
But
Yeah,
you're
because if
right. I
you
think
mess it up, man,
anything you
it's a lot
do,
of money.
yeah.
Yeah,
But even if like, I mean, it's stupid stuff. Even like if you pop out and you swap out your LEDs, it's cool because you did it, and it's
yeah,
your
right,
bike.
right.
And it's interesting you say that because the other bikes that I had, I never really had an attachment to. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right.
I had one that probably I did because it was my first cruiser bike, but I never had that attachment. And then I got like you, it's my first Harley, and I started doing
Yeah,
stuff to it. And it was like, okay, this is starting to become mine. Like now I get it.
yeah,
Like,
right.
it's stupid stuff. It's like, okay, well, the derby cover is different or the mirrors are different, but it becomes yours and you start to become more and more attached to it. And I never experienced that before.
Yeah, right,
Before it
right,
was like,
right.
I just want this. Oh, next year I'm getting this. Now I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I don't know. I know it's everyone's like dogging the 103s, but I'm like, I don't know. I like this bike. Like I don't.
Yeah. No, it's a great bike, man. And the thing too is, like, Dude, the Milwaukee eights are impressive, man. And that 114 on a Fat Boy is extremely brutal. Like it's a quick bike. I originally was gonna go with the Road King, and price kind of got me thinking, let me start looking somewhere else. And then we were trying to look for a Fat Boy, and there wasn't one on the floor at our local Harley that's like 15 minutes away. So we went to one that's like 40 minutes away in Gladstone, Oregon. Shout out the latest Harley Davidson. But we walk in, and I was so excited because I knew when I looked at the website that there was one on the floor.
Okay.
I just didn't know which one it was. And I walk in, and sure enough, I got this local t-shirt on, I got my tribal tag going on, and there's huge white dude just sees me walk in the door, and he's like, "Oh, how's it, brother?" I'm like, "Huh? Like, who's this guy?" So he's from Hawaii. So I was like even more stoked, like, man, this is
that's awesome.
meant to be. So yeah, so he comes, and this is like during peak COVID, like last year, and he comes up to me, he's like, "Oh, what are you looking for?" And we're talking pigeon, and everyone's just kind of looking at us, and I'm tripping out because the skin color doesn't, what I mean? But that's not to be like that, because I mean there's all kinds of people back home that were born and raised there, or just not even born, they're raised there or been living there for years, that kind of speak the local tongue. And he's like, "What are you looking for?" I'm like, "Oh, I was looking for the Fat Boy." And there actually were two on the floor. The first bike that was there when I walked in was the 30th anniversary bike, but it was blacked out. I didn't even recognize it.
Okay.
So I walked right past it. So I was like, "Oh, look at the Fat Boy." He's like, "Oh, it's right there." And then I was just like, "Oh, you guys have the 30th anniversary?" Just by chance. He's like, "Yeah, you just passed it. It's right there." I turn around, I see this thing. I'm like, man, I almost teared up, man. It was just like meant to be. And then he's like, "What, you want to ride him?" I was like, "Yeah, I want to test ride this bad boy." Dude, as soon as I rode that thing, bro, I was like, this is it. And it just made sense too. It was just like, man, I'm a fat guy. I need to be on a Fat Boy, and that's how, and it all came together, man. It was like, man. And then after I test rode, I was like in heaven. I was like, this is it. And I'm telling my buddy who went there with me, I'm like, "Oh man, this is the one." And in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, this is not, my wife is going to kill me, because this was not in the plan. Like when I rode that bike, I'm like, I got to have this thing. So then I call her up, and, or she texted me, asked me how things were going. And I'm like, "Oh, it's great, babe. I just got done riding it." And then, I didn't tell her I was going to sit down with the guy and talk numbers or whatever. So we're sitting down talking this, that, whatever. And then finally I call her up, man. I'm like, "Babe, like, is there any way?" And she's like, "What?" I was like, I don't know what I said, but I was like, "I'll do anything to get this bike right now, like anything." And yeah, man, we sat down, we talked to the guy, and and I walked there like, my credit is through the roof. Like, I have great credit. Yeah. I mean, it took 10 years to get it to where it's at. But when I left Hawaii, I was just in a bad place. But long story short, I'm thinking I got great credit. I should be able to, this should get going real quick. Nope. They're like, "Do you own anything?" I'm like, "No, I own our Yukon." "Nope, we own the Forerunner." Like, "Nope, I own the shop." Like, we own everything. Like, the only thing we were paying on was a credit card. And so they made it like, "Yeah, man, I don't know." Like, it wasn't going to work out. So 11 days later, I'm not going to talk about everything that happened between the 11 days, but they had that hold sign on that bike for 11 days for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was insane. To this day, man, I'm so grateful for them, because first of all, they only made 2,500 of these bikes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see my videos, I am all black.
Yeah.
And this bike was just blacked out. And I just had to have it. So we ended up making it work. I'm super blessed, man. Thanks to my mother-in-law, thanks to my wife, because that's awesome. Yeah. And it's the funniest story, because we were trying to make it happen. My wife and I, trying to get the loan, this, that, whatever. And we couldn't happen because there was no, how it is. Like, you got to be paying on a house or a vehicle or something. And we just weren't. We own everything, man. And they wanted paperwork for this and that and the other. And then we asked my mother-in-law to help out. She puts her name in the hat, and we start filling out the information online. Dude, not even 2 minutes after we started typing her information in, they called her.
Yeah.
They called her on her cell phone, bro. They call her, bruh. I was like, what? They call her on her cell phone. They're telling her all this information. Oh, yeah, you got to prove this, that, whatever. And at the end of the conversation, he's like, okay, well, I'll make sure that I bring in all this paperwork. And I can hear the dude. She's got him on speaker. It's like, oh, don't worry. Don't worry, ma'am. You don't have to bring anything in. I'm like, are you just kidding me right now? Dude, my mom just laid the smack down, dude. Like, man, I'm thinking to myself, man, mom just got to be like part of the mafia or something, man. They must have looked up her name, did a background check. I was like, oh,
The thing that
we
I
gotta give
find
this guy his bike.
so funny with credit is the more credit you have, the more, like when we bought our house, they run the approval and it was like it was double what I was even comfortable affording, right? And I'm like, he's like, this is great news. I'm like, I don't know what world you live in,
Right.
but this is not good
exactly.
news.
Yeah. Dude,
It's ridiculous.
I can't, and I don't understand it because you grow up thinking, my dad's like, oh, you got to have good credit, make sure you have good credit, and all my family after my parents passed away, my aunt who adopted us so that we can finish school where we're at growing up, like was like, you got to, make sure you don't get these credit cards and be, I don't know, bouncing checks and you know what I mean, like just having good credit or whatever. So that was my mindset growing up all the time. And finally, and I did have good credit at one point in my life. And then I started doing stupid stuff and my credit was horrible. And when I moved to Cali, I was like, my wife helped me, she's the financial genius. So she helped me get my credit back up. And it's to the point where it's better than hers. She's going to hate that I even brought that up. But, and then like, here we are, like, okay, I'm like, all right, my credit's great. Like, this is going to work. I'm going to be able to get this bike, rates are going to be great. Like, no, it wasn't like that at all. And like, again, like thanks to my mother-in-law, but it was just funny. The whole process was just funny because it was like, here we are struggling to get stuff together. My mom puts her name in the hat and boom, we're good to go.
Yeah.
So,
It's a, oh man, that's stressful in itself, especially when it's that limited.
yeah. Right. So, and hey man, it's been over a year. Absolutely love there is absolutely nothing on that bike or anything about the bike that I don't like at all. And there you go. When I started the YouTube channel, it just made sense because growing up, even my name on paper next to my social security number is Vernon. My last name is pronounced Rodriguez. It's not Rodriguez.
Okay.
It's Portuguese Hawaiian. And so growing up, everyone called me Junior, and my son's the third. His nickname is German, which was actually my dad's nickname as well. So he's got some big shoes to fill. But anyway, so then it was just like made sense, like Harley Fat Boy Jr. So
that's cool.
It's cheesy and simple, but that's the way I wanted it, just something simple. And I look at all these other names out there, that are pretty cool, man. But that's what I came up with. I can't even think of if I had an opportunity to change it. I don't know what I'd change it to. Like it's simple and
Well, yeah, but I don't know. I think it's kind of funny because, like you said, some people put so much into it, and then other people come up with something and it just sticks and like, well, it works,
Right. I'm glad I came quick because the logo, I couldn't for the life of me come up with a logo. I didn't know if I wanted it to be the bike or if I just wanted it to be me. I didn't know what I wanted. I was just stressing out over it because people kept sending me stuff and I couldn't send anything back in return because I didn't have anything to send. Like I didn't have stickers. I didn't have anything. So my wife went ahead and took a picture that I had and turned it into something great and, got the stickers for me as a gift. And so I finally have some stuff to send out. Speaking of which, I should be getting some more stuff in. The first round of stickers went quick.
I'm terrible with that. I have, there's like sitting on my, I owe you stickers, but like, I think I have like 20 of these. I was like, oh, I have 20 of them. And then I'm like, I start giving a couple out and I'm like, oh, and then it like the color and I'm like,
yeah. So, I mean, and now I finally got the first wave of stuff out. Thankfully, I don't even know. There's only a couple of people that reached out back to me. Hopefully everyone got their stuff. Like I, double check, all the addresses and whatnot. But just like when they sent me stuff there, I didn't say anything about it for a long time because I want to do, a mail call video or whatever, Super Swag Saturdays or something like that. And
they were popular for a long time. People aren't doing those anymore. And I kind of think it's cool. Like I don't.
Yeah. I feel bad because I feel like I didn't know because I was just starting out and Motobike Mike I
Mm-hmm.
forget what his original name was. Um, man, I just drew a blank. Anyway, great guy. But he did a mail call Monday thing. And then I was like, oh, that's so catchy. So then I did my first mail call was mail call Mondays or whatever. And then I started realizing that he started doing his mail calls on Fridays. And I didn't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I just felt bad. I felt like I stole his thing or
Yeah.
whatever. So then I just changed it to like I got mail Mondays or something like that. I've only done 2 videos on getting, getting gear from people, but I don't want to be that guy that's like ripping off people's stuff. But Moto Mike he's actually the first guy who got me who sent me some stuff. So shout out to him. Appreciate it, big guy.
That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of people that aren't into it. A lot of people are. A lot of people hit me up, um, for stuff and and they've sent me stuff. So I just want to make sure that I get back, So
That's cool.
yeah.
I mean, I get a kick out of these people, and certainly the bigger channels, but a lot of people have like merchandise and stuff. I'm like, I can't. I'm just not that motivated.
Yeah, not only that, I don't think I'd probably do something. I think my wife did something for us as a family to get us some shirts and whatnot, which I think is pretty cool. They're just having fun with it, man. My wife is the most supportive person that I know. I'm gonna get choked up right now. But yeah, so and my kids, man, they're all about it too. Like they're talking about, they'll tell their friends. I think my 7, well, she's 8 now. She's turned 8 over the weekend, but she was telling her teacher last year. She's like, "Oh yeah, my dad's got a YouTube channel. It's about his motorcycle, and he has a Harley. She knows what I have. It's a 30th anniversary bike. It's a Fat Boy. It's a Harley Davidson Fat Boy. They only made 20. She knows. Because I'm always like talking about it or whatever, and she's just super supportive. They're all supportive. So yeah, so hopefully the shirts are kind of cool for us to have and stuff like that. But yeah, the whole merch thing, like, I don't know. I don't want to be, hey, you guys want a coffee cup, or you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I get it, but yeah, my whole big thing is I'm just lazy.
Yeah,
I'm just
right.
Like, oh.
And then I don't know the first thing about even setting that stuff up. I know that Pro Monkey has cool stuff, and I don't know how he set it up, but you can see it when you go to his channel. You see all the stuff there, which I think is pretty amazing. I just don't know. I don't know where you even begin with that stuff. So we just try and keep it, local at home.
That's awesome.
So I mean, sticker meal or whatever.
I, to your point, I think the community is extremely supportive, and it's interesting that how many people, and we were talking before the show, everybody knows everybody. It's really weird. I've never been a part of something where, everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's so cool, man. It's so cool. Back to another reason why I started was because I started watching a guy who's from Oregon. His thing is Night King 2114 or something like that. Super cool guy, was all doing installs and whatnot on his Road King.
Okay.
And just the way he would, speak and like, and kind of, talk about what he's doing. It was so easy. Like, it's just one of those things where you're learning, if you need to change out a toilet, you go to YouTube, like how to change out a toilet, and it gives you step by step. Like, this guy's videos were so good, and his bike is super amazing from the time he got it to where it's at now. It's so beautiful. And he went on hiatus and his subs were still growing, and he finally came back, and everyone was in the comments like, "Oh, welcome back." Like, he kind of disappeared for a little bit. But great dude. He's a musician, man of faith, just a great guy. But he's a channel that I watched in the beginning. It was never like Blockhead or, Her Two Wheels or Shay3 Surgeon. No offense to them. I just never, I don't know how I got stuck on Night King. And then Infamous Creep is another guy out of San Jose, California. That's really good. Queen Sit. I don't know if you heard of her.
Love Queen Sit.
Yeah. She's just, her intro is what got me, like, where, she's down on the ground, rock, like just going to the music, like, absolutely love her. And then obviously Professional Monkey. When TJ started, man, like, I mean, if there was a man crush, I'm gonna go ahead and say it right here, man. Like, TJ's the guy. I love that dude. Like, one, because he's another big dude.
Missed it's still Man Crush Monday. You can post on Instagram.
Man Crush Monday. Yeah.
Okay.
He's
Man Crush on the Monkey. Yeah. You heard it here, folks.
Yeah. He's a big dude, and he's super knowledgeable, family man.
Hmm.
His Mrs. Monkey's amazing. She's so awesome. And their kid too.
Did you
Like
see the video where he's yelling at his kid?
yeah,
I
yeah.
love that.
I
I
watched.
watched that like 8 times.
Yeah,
I can't stop laughing
yeah.
while watching it.
Yeah, but he's just this wealth of information, and like for someone who's learning to start wrenching on his bike or like start learning about motorcycles or motorcycle clubs or groups or Sturgis or whatever, like he covers everything,
Hmm.
and the dude can talk about a pebble on the street and turn it into something amazing, and people are gonna watch it just because the way he just flows, man. And I love it because he's rarely on his bike. It's
Hmm.
always in the garage. And to see where his garage, if you go back and watch some of the beginning videos and watch it now, his garage is now it's like it's pretty sweet, man. And I can't wait. Hopefully, with what he's doing right now, he'll have a spot where he can go and keep all his bikes and his RV and whatever else he has in a bigger spot and turn that into something great. But yeah, shout out to Pro Monkey, man. I tell him all the time, man. He's one of the, and I tell a lot of people he's one of the big reasons why I started to, well, actually, kind of gave me confidence. Like, oh man, I can totally do this.
Yeah.
But sometimes I get stuck because I don't know, I don't have a lot of knowledge on a lot of things, and I don't want to sound like I'm BSing either. I want to try and keep my content as real as it can be and whatnot. It's already hard enough to edit, man. And this guy, it seems like he just goes in there, talks. There's barely any editing. He throws his little thing up in the beginning, and you know, and then and that's it, man. He just does his thing, and it's so easy. And you can tell people are watching, man. I started watching when he had like 2,000 subs, and he's almost close to 40,000 subs right now.
And I think that his channel is the classic example of having engagement with your community because
Yeah,
people like that. It's not just about throwing something up and hoping somebody watches it.
yeah, right.
You
And
know.
then and then the lives they do are hilarious. Like when they do, man, sometimes my wife is like, "Hey, are you gonna come eat?" Like, because that you guys are on the East Coast, bro. So I get home from work and I'm trying to hop on the live, stream the party, the gatherings on Friday nights, and like so much time will go by, and I come straight home and I'm mixing a drink. You know what I mean? I'm in the studio watching, and then she'll come in here and be like, "Hey, it's 9 o'clock. You gonna come eat?" Like, you haven't even eaten yet. Like, you came home, you didn't even shower, bro. You just grabbed the drink, like, and then you look in the chat. There's like 500-600 people in there, man. Just there's just a good time, man. Just he's good folks, man. I can't wait to meet him in person, and hopefully he ends up going to Sturgis, man. I really want to pull off Sturgis next year. I
Yeah.
really want to go. I've never been. Um, but yeah, man, shout out to shout out to Pro Monkey.
That's on the list. I'm not a big crowd person, but I'd like to
Yeah.
do it once. Maybe I'll just like hang out in a tent or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. I mean, that's me too. Yeah. I mean, I'm not really into, yeah, I'm older now, man. Before
Hmm.
back in the day, it was all about it, especially playing music. You're always in big crowds and that stuff. Like these days, it's kind of like, I can't remember last time I was in a club. It's probably been 15,
We went
maybe
to
20
a
years.
dealer event that was at Pocono Harley Davidson, fantastic dealership, and we went. We're hanging out. This place is packed, and I'm like, okay, well, I got that out of the way for the year. Like, I don't need to do this again.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm not really into crowds either, but it's definitely, and it goes back to like when I am in crowds, especially if it's something I can share with, with the people that follow me is to go live on YouTube. I know you
Mhm.
can do it on Instagram, but it'd be cool to just kind of keep everything in one spot. And I'm still learning Instagram, man. Like I'm still learning. I don't know how, I don't know if you follow Pearl Glide. It's him
No.
and he and his wife like travel all over the country, but he does all his videos and stuff on Instagram, and they're great. Like,
Oh, wow.
there's music and there's, it's just really, and when I talk to him, he makes it, oh, you just got to do this X, Y, and Z, and that's all it takes. But I'm old, man. I'm still learning all this stuff, but social media, man, is especially when it's linked to what you're trying to do on YouTube. It's a full time gig, bro. Like I wish I had more time to do it all, but unfortunately,
My
right now I don't.
my Sunday went to hell because Katie, my wife's like, "Do you realize you've been on your phone all day?" I was like, "I don't know." I'm like talking to this person, and like you said, you're trying to
Yeah,
catch up, and next thing you
yeah,
know, it's like the day's gone.
yeah, right. And
I'm
yeah,
trying to like really silo that time because it's so easy to get sucked
yeah.
into.
No, totally. And like I'm all about supporting. If I subscribe to your channel, bro, I'm gonna support you, bro. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Oh,
watch
you
the whole
do?
video.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I mean, when I click on a video, I'm committed to watch. I don't care how long it is. I'm committed to it because I know what it takes to put that video together. Especially if you're still learning, like myself. Like I had to learn from scratch, man. Like with Final Cut Pro, like how to edit and whatnot, and I'm still learning. Rhino, he helps me out a lot, man. Iron Dundee, man, that guy,
Yeah.
I love that dude. Like him and Bolt Bucket, man, these guys are so supportive,
Bolt
man. They help
bucket's a
me.
scream.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you ever seen like Rhino's thumbnails, but this guy makes some of the most killer thumbnails, and he helps me do, or actually he's done some of my thumbnails. And one day I was asking him questions or whatever, and he showed me, I forget what I called him about, but he shared his screen and we like chopped
Yeah.
it up for like 45 minutes, maybe an hour. And he kind of showed me, he uses Photoshop elements or whatever, and he was kind of showing me how he does, and he just picked a random picture and started adding text and all this stuff, and you know fading out the background, and I was like, man, like, because the thumbnails that I make on Canva are, they're, you can tell they weren't Photoshop. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, so I mean, but these guys are so supportive. Iron Dunny did my intro.
Oh, that's
Didn't
awesome.
even ask him. Didn't even ask him, man. I would, every time I watch his videos, like, man, your intro is so awesome. Like, can't wait to get an intro. I need to start working on that. And I never started working on it. And then I get an email and he's like, hey, check this out. Let me know if you like it. And I'm like, I was blown away, man. I was like a little kid. I was so excited. I was
Oh,
like,
that's
babe, check this
awesome.
out, man. Aaron Dundee, this guy that I follow on YouTube and Instagram, like he's in Australia, like he did this for me. So then I'm like, we're playing it, and I'm like, dude.
Awesome.
So that's why I use that one, and I don't ever want to stop using that one because it was a gift. You know what I mean? It was a gift from
It,
Aaron Dundee. So
it's interesting that, like you said, there's so many people in this community that you can be like, oh, I don't know how to do X, Y, Z. And they're like, I can show you. Like, I
yeah.
spent uh, probably the better part of my weekend talking to Bodine 52 a couple
Oh,
weekends
nice.
ago,
Yeah.
working on my SEO stuff and things that I just didn't understand. And it's really nice when you
Yeah.
have someone that's, you know, much further ahead of you that can
Yeah.
say, "Oh, no, no, this is what you got to do," and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay," because it makes a lot more sense than trying to like watch
Right.
some video.
Right. No, totally. And that's how I am. That's how I learn. You show me one time and I'll master it, and unfortunately I'll end up doing it better than you. No, just kidding. But you're talking about TubeBuddy, yeah? That Bodine was helping you with?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
and it was really cool because it sort of, well, became a large time suck too. But it was really cool to
Yeah.
learn and then sort of go like, "Oh, okay, this is why I'm not," because YouTube's changed in the last 6 months dramatically, and
Oh, okay.
it was kind of like, oh, okay, now this makes sense, like where I was
Yeah.
going wrong. And it gave me a chance
Yeah.
to go back and tweak some old videos to kind of get a little bit more viewership. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think it's neat. It's really cool when you can talk to people that are open enough, you know what I mean? Like if I tell you how to do it and you run with it and you
Yeah.
succeed, that's a win. I'm not worried about
Yeah,
you know
totally.
what I mean?
Yeah,
There's
totally.
so many
Yeah.
channels that like
Yeah.
smoke my channel and I'll still give them the shirt off my back. Like I don't care or whatever.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I always take pride in learning something and taking it, as far as I can, because, coming up, I'm not the smartest dude, like book smart wise,
Mhm.
I went to college for 3 years. It was a community college back home in Hawaii. And I would have loved to go to Penn State or Notre Dame where my wife went. But yeah, that never would have happened, man. I
Mhm.
probably could have cheated and it still never would have happened. Kids, don't go cheat. I'm just trying to be funny. But so when I do learn stuff, it's typically, being shown how to do certain things and kind of just taking that. Like when I started doing cable years ago, craftsmanship, man, it wasn't just about the customer part. Was easy because I could talk to people all day about anything, and it'll be great. But it was more about the craftsmanship and learning the ins and out of cable and what it's all about. So I just ended up becoming, you know one of the better techs, where I was at. And obviously it's hard work, but just in general, man, when I learned something, I'm not gonna lie, man, competitive. I just like to be the best at anything that it is that I'm doing. Not really necessarily than the next guy, but just be the best I can be, like no matter
Sure.
what it is I'm doing. So And just like with YouTube, it's a struggle because I want to be really great at it, but there's not enough time in the day, man, for me. Like, you know, I'm not gonna make excuses, man. I have so I don't ever want to quit because it's so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I'm not putting out, content, I love what everyone else is coming out with. Um, Flying Ride does the drone footage, dude. That guy, like his drone stuff is like unreal. And everyone's doing the 360 camera, which is pretty amazing. And I just put the camera on the bars just recently,
Yeah.
and like even that is a huge win, I think, because I think it's pretty cool when you got at least a couple views, view of the rider and view of the road and the scenery and whatnot. So yeah, man, kudos to everyone, man. Just taking time to learn this YouTube and editing and all that stuff, and supporting each other, man. That's the biggest thing. There's so much support within the motovlog community that it's pretty. Who wouldn't want to be a part of that? You know what I mean? So
Well, yeah, and it like you said, it's cool too because you can see so many channels that have evolved as you watch them. It's
yeah,
really interesting, It's
yeah,
and some for the good, some for the bad, but it's really cool when you see a channel like you said with Monkey, where that's just become a life of its own.
yeah,
Smitty's done that. Salty and Sprinkles,
yeah,
like it just got
yeah,
rolling, and it
yeah,
rolled hard. And I
yeah,
think it's
totally.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. Spinny's another one. Like literally, with the first time I saw that video, his intro, as soon as I saw his first video, I can't remember which one it was, but when I saw that intro, he's like one of the first times that normally I check stuff out first to see if
Hmm.
one of the people are really serious about it, about dropping content weekly, bi-weekly, whatever it is. But when I saw the first video I seen of his, I immediately clicked. As soon as I saw the intro, I'm like, dude, this guy is good. And I knew that. And then when he came out and said he used to be a pro wrestler, I already knew. I was like, man, I knew it. Like he just has that charisma, and like that guy is so lively, man. And he's again, man crush Mondays, baby. Another big guy
Oh man,
representing, bro.
now
So
they're gonna start fighting over you now. You
yeah,
better be
man.
careful.
Hey, love and aloha to the big guys, bro. Because Big Smitty and Pro Monkey, man. I got yeah. So and then Big Ben, Bikes,
Hmm.
Beards and Brews, another guy,
I met
another
him
big
in
guy
person, and I
representing.
met
Yeah,
Flying
no, I
Rod in
saw that
person. They're,
video.
they're
Yeah,
great dudes.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
he's he's every bit the person you see online, and I thought that was really cool because sometimes you don't know
yeah,
what to expect.
yeah. He's hilarious,
Yeah,
man. And
it's
you would trip out. Like if I showed you a picture of one of my really good friends back home, he's like 6'4", 300 something pounds Samoan dude, but he's like he's like Ben's twin. Like their
oh, that's
attitude, the
funny.
way they talk, like everything is just it's funny, man. It'd be a hoot, just a hoot. It'd be pretty cool to get them together one day and just be a fly on the wall and just see what they, especially when it comes to drinking some beers, because my
Yeah,
boy
I
can
could see
pound some
that.
beers. Yeah. So yeah, and Bike's another one, man. He had put out a video about, why don't you guys change up the scenery, and stop taking the same routes, or something in that space. And I was just like, man, this guy's talking to me, man. Cause I started out the house and it was like, so then I started venturing out and I just go and I wouldn't even turn anything on until I got in the middle of nowhere, Oregon. And then I start recording because and then it would always be on my mind. And then I actually put it in one of my videos, but I ended up doing two takes and I ended up using the other take. But the other take that I didn't use was the one of like me giving him crap, like, oh, I hope
That's
Bikes, Beards, and Bruises are
funny.
watching because that's this is a whole completely different scenery. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's hilarious, man.
Oh, that's
Great
funny.
dude, man. I like that guy.
Yeah. So what? When did you start riding?
So the Shadow is a 2007, 2011,
Okay.
or end of 2010,
Okay.
around there. Yeah. So 10, a little over 10 years, something like that. Learned on a Suzuki Bandit. Yeah.
That's a
I know
cool.
in your
That's
mind right now, you're
an
like,
interesting bike.
yeah, it is. And I know you're like, Vern's on a crotch rocket. Junior's on a front. I don't know. But yeah, learned on a Suzuki Bandit. And man, shout out to my brother Sheldon, man. We grew up together, and he taught me how to ride. Super experienced guy, experienced rider, and that was his bike that I learned on. So, and he actually was there when I bought the Shadow. He was helping me bike shop, so he forced me to ride probably 40 different bikes before I
Okay.
got the Shadow. Yeah. So yeah. So about 10, a little 10, around 10, 11 years.
Yeah, that's where I'm
Uh,
at. Or like 9 or 10, I guess. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it'll be coming up on 10. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely love it. Never ever dropped the bikes. Never dropped the bike, but I did get in a pretty crazy accident. Tore up my left leg,
Oof.
left ankle. Needed surgery and all that stuff. I didn't drop the bike though. Yeah, we're going up Grizzly Peak in Berkeley, California, and it's just two roads. One way up, one way down, and we are going around a bend. Beautiful day, sun was out, perfect day, and some guy was coming down in his car and was in my lane a little, so I kind of went off the side a little bit and hit like the only patch of gravel anywhere in sight. And
Oh,
yeah, so I ended up lost control of the bike. My foot fell off the peg or just slipped off the peg, touched the ground, then it just
yeah.
took it all back. And
Oof.
yeah, I remember the EMT people, the ambulance guys got there and they go to cut off my riding pants, and I'm like, no, I just got these.
Save the pants.
Yeah, man, get out of here, bro. You're not cutting anything. And then I forgot I had jeans under that. So I got off the pants okay, and it was just awkward for them because my foot was just,
Oof.
going this way, and they're trying to go around that, and they cut up the jeans, which was fine. I didn't care about the jeans. Like, cut up my jeans, I really don't care, but the riding pants, no, don't touch these. And quite honestly, I don't think I've ever wore them since. I still got them, but I just haven't worn them.
Yeah.
I'm already a fat guy, man. I'm not trying to put all kinds of gear. I try and ride safe and, cover up, but man, bro, I'm already fat. I can't breathe, and then I got a long sleeve on underneath and then another shirt and then, my riding jacket and then, these heavy shoes. And then I got jeans on with, the, whatever you call them,
Sure.
pants underneath, and like I already can't breathe, man. I need space, so I rather ride in 30-degree weather with just a long sleeve on, my helmet, jeans and some shoes. Like, but also, my wife always wants me to be safe as possible, so I it's just yeah.
No, I get it. That's the reason I went with a heated vest, because I wear that over.
Okay,
I
okay.
wear that under my leather jacket, and then because the biggest problem I had is like you. It's like I'm a big guy, so then you start
Yeah.
bulking up, and then you can't
Yeah.
move,
Right.
and you're like, "This is dumb. I can't."
Yeah. Yeah. And then
yeah,
and if you can see, I have no neck. I'm all head and shoulders. So like when I go to turn, I can't really turn. And then on top of that, I got my sweatshirt or my jacket on, and I, no excuses, because I definitely want to be safe, but it's just
Yeah.
kind of, it gets frustrating at times, so.
well, I have that problem too in the summer. Everyone, well, not everyone, but I'll wear either my half helmet at times, or like I'm in a t-shirt with a full helmet. People are like, "Oh, you should have all your gear on."
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't breathe. Like, it's so hot. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
I'm gonna pass out. That's what's gonna kill me. It's not gonna
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. Yeah. And then living in the Bay and then living here in Oregon, when I leave first thing in the morning, it's freezing.
Yeah.
But then when I come home, in mid-afternoon or in the afternoon, it's a 20-degree difference. So my I don't have saddlebags or anything like that. So, I'm not going to wear, I don't know. I'm getting myself in trouble right now with my wife. But
No, I get it.
yeah, no, and then I got nowhere to put that stuff, and I can't leave it, at work, because then I'm going to need it in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. The way I look at shit sometimes, sorry, I should watch my language. The way I look at things sometimes is just kind of my wife just shakes her head. It's a trip.
That's the one thing with the Ultra. I was riding with my buddy Mike, and we've ridden a couple times together. He lives in Maryland. He's laughing at me because, like, one minute I've got a jacket on, then the next minute I've got a different jacket on. I'm like, dude, I got all this room.
Yeah.
I'm just like got the whole gear load up,
Yeah.
It's nice when you have that ability, but
Yeah.
realistically, like you said, it sucks because that's what we found out traveling is like you have to be prepared for everything,
Yeah,
but there's
for
only so
everything.
much room.
Right. Exactly. And I don't own a bagger yet. There's not a bagger in the garage, but hopefully someday there will be. And it just not to. One day, I think Salty will like this. It might be the Indian Challenger, man.
Oh man,
Ever since I rode that bike, man, it's.
you're gonna. That's blasphemy. I mean, you can't.
I
You
know,
can't.
I know, I know, but I have
It is
yet
a
to
nice bike.
ride. Yeah, I have yet to ride a street glide or a road glide. So we'll see. But I will tell you that Challenger is probably the best all around bike that I've ever been on. Like,
I've only sat on one in the showroom. I went to the motorcycle show and didn't get a
yeah,
chance to try one.
yeah. If you ever get the opportunity, man, you got to jump on that bad boy because I was impressed. When I looked at it originally, I was like, oh man, this thing's gonna be hard to handle. This no way, man. That thing was like I was just like one with the bike, man. I felt like, yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like you
well,
just,
when we first started looking at Harleys, we were at that point, 3, 4 years out, and I took out a road glide. I had a Suzuki Intruder 1500, so it's what the Boulevard is now, but it's the
yeah. Oh, okay, okay.
C90,
Yeah, yeah,
a C90T, I guess it is. So I go to the dealership. Guy gives me the keys. I'm like, all right, well, where are we going? He's like, what do you mean we? He's like, I'm not getting on the bike. He's like, I'm not taking a bike out. You just go yourself. And I'm like, I've never ridden a bike this big. I mean, it's an ultra, so it's like or limited at that
yeah.
point, right? So
Right, right. Yeah,
it's what 950, whatever the thing weighs. And I took it out, and I said to the guy, I said, look, here's the deal. I said, my wife's with me. I said, I want to take her out, but I'm not going to take her out with me. Like, I want to take her out after I've felt the bike out. Took the bike out, came back, picked her up. She's like, what do you think? I'm like, you're going to hate this. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, you're not going to like this. She's like, why? I'm like, because you're going to want it. And I was
yeah,
like, it was
yeah,
so nimble. I couldn't believe it.
yeah,
They're really nice bikes. And the Challenger, it looks interesting. I'm still a little butthurt with the whole victory thing, but
yeah,
and we
yeah.
don't
I hear. Yeah,
have, I don't know
I
what it
got
is
that a
like
lot.
there. We don't have many Indian dealers here. We have
Yeah.
one that's really close to me, but then after that, it's like hour, 2, 3 hours away.
Yeah, I had to go to Vancouver. I think there is one closer to me, but I went to It's still not that far away. It's like 40 minutes, but in Vancouver, Washington, Pro Cycle something or Pro Motorcycle. I don't know the name of the spot, but again, back to my cousin's husband Ben, who he. That's one thing I love about that guy because he'll plan, especially during summer here. He'll have all these events that he wants to go check out, and that was one of them. Man, was the Indian demo ride, and it was a great time, man. And it made me think outside of the box a little bit. Like just because you finally own that Harley that you always wanted and didn't think you'd own until you're like in your late 50s, to not ride other motorcycles.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I rode a ton before I got my Shadow, and I've rode a couple, since then, and now that I have the Harley, it's like I got my bike. I don't need to ride anything else. Well, I went to go ride that Challenger, and I also rode a BMW for the first time.
Was it the R18 you took out?
Yeah, the R18. I did that one. That was a blast. Definitely not something I'd own, but it was still fun to jump on a BMW and say like I've been on a BMW, and then now it's just like I feel like if I go to another demo ride, I'll be like, let's ride everything, kind of deal. But when you go to, when you're doing the channel, you're trying to get content. Like I didn't want to be there for like 7 hours. So I just rode 3 bikes, which was plenty. It was plenty. But just an all around great day. But yeah, I'm just glad my buddy kind of brings up stuff like, hey, let's go check this out. Cause otherwise I wouldn't go check it out. But now it's like, I want to go to these demo rides and, these demo days at dealerships and, or go out to all these events where I know there's going to be a lot of bikes or, cars, checking out all that stuff. Cause just that community in itself it's just so much fun, man. It's fun to be around, and it's cool to see, what other people have done to their bikes, to either get ideas or just to kind of, to be like, wow, that's, just see cool stuff. So yeah, so I've been trying to do that a lot. Now the weather's changing, so, I'm gonna have to wait till they call it riding season, but I never had to put the bike up. I feel bad for guys that like, oh, it's gonna snow, I gotta put my bike up. Like, I'll never put that bad boy on the lift, man. Like if the roads are good and it could be 20 degrees, man, I'm going to go ride as long as there's no ice, I'm riding safe. And even if it's for like 20, 30 minutes, cause it's just great therapy, man. For me, it's just really great therapy. So
Yeah, we had. I think it was last year. It snowed a lot, but during the initial kind of onset of the pandemic, we were able to just. It was crazy. There was no traffic, so you could just go
Yeah.
ride, and it was the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say this: I as much as I'll give people crap, right? You know, like people tell me I'm a Harley fanboy. I'm like, tell you what, man, I saw Smitty's. Uh, I saw that
Poor
Goldwing,
Smitty,
and I
man.
saw the new Goldwing. So it's his model, but it's the newer touring one. So
Yeah.
increase the tour box, the top box. It's bigger
Yeah.
now. I
Yeah.
was looking at that and I was like, yeah, I'd roll that. I wouldn't even think about it. I mean, like
Yeah.
if I was switching bikes, I was like, I could do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
funny, man. Smitty getting crap for his gold wing or old wing, they call it. But it's one thing about Smitty, man. You can give him all the crap you want, dude. He could care less, man. But
well,
it's all in fun too. But I just think it's funny that everyone always gives him grief about it.
it's funny too. Like I get a lot of crap with having an ultra. They're like, oh, you're not 70 years old and you have an ultra. And I'm like, let me tell you something. I was like, get on my
Yeah, I don't.
bike,
Yeah,
especially now with the bars, the suspension, the Mustang seat, get on my bike and run the tank out. And you'll just
yeah,
be like, the tank ran out before you even got remotely even thought about it. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, right.
it's so comfortable.
Yeah,
And yeah, once you go bagger, I don't think I could ever go back to a smaller bike because it's just so
yeah,
nice having that storage,
yeah, totally.
or at least
Yeah,
at least a traditional bagger. You know, like
yeah,
the top
right.
box, I take it off a lot, but the uh,
Yeah,
the bagger, it's like, oh man, it's just so comfortable and it looks so cool, and you're like, oh
yeah.
man.
You're right. Yeah,
I
it's
think
I don't.
Smitty deserves crap though. I mean, he bought a gold wing, you know.
Oh man,
Here's
that's
my
funny,
theory,
bro.
and I know he's going to watch this, so we'll surprise him with my theory. I think he just did it for attention. That's what I think. I think he really wanted a Harley, but he's like, if I get the gold wing, these
Oh
guys are going to make
man.
fun of me, and I'll get a lot of attention for my channel. That's what I think, Smitty.
Oh man.
And
Well, I
none of
must have
that's
did it,
true
man,
because
because
that.
his channel's taking off,
Oh, did you
man.
see his latest TikTok video where he lifted the front wheel?
No, I didn't.
I was like,
No.
damn,
Was
lifted
that
an old
recently?
wing, man. Damn, yeah,
Oh, on the bike. Like he tried
yeah.
to.
He lifted the front wheel up.
Oh, little Samoan Bruce action. I don't know if you follow that guy. That guy's tearing it up on the streets in
So maybe
Pacific
he's going to be like a
Northwest.
stunt guy on his gold wing. See, wouldn't that be great? What do? I do stunts on a gold wing. It'd be
Yeah.
great.
And it's funny, he did the one intro where he goes to jump on the bike and then ends up with the lawnmower.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, because that's what I did for the city in Cali was parks maintenance. So I did a lot of landscaping stuff. So I was gonna do that one because he did the other one where he did it and ended up on the gold wing. And then one I think he did it and he ended up in the car or something.
Yeah, it was a
It's
car with
also
teenage
cool.
daughter. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always cool when people do that, kind of change it up. His intros are amazing, man. But another great dude, bro. Like, he's another, working man with, family man and, fun guy, just likes to have a good time and so supportive, man. So yeah, dude, it's cool, man. It's cool to be around some good people, man, even though it's from afar, man. One day it'll be nice to kind of connect with everybody.
Yeah, it would be.
I mean, it'll be some dangerous times, man, because I know these guys like to consume a little bit of alcohol and have fun. So it'd just be a blast, man. It'd be a
Yeah, and
blast.
to your point, the thing that I love so much about this community is there's not been a person that I've reached out to realistically that's never replied back and been like, hey, well, this is what you need to do. Or Laidlaw
Oh
is a
yeah,
classic example of that. I
yeah,
sent him an email one day and I was like, your
yeah,
audio sounds really good. What do you do? I didn't
yeah.
know about the about section. I didn't know he had a link. You know what I mean? He
Oh
just
really?
sent me this
Yeah,
back this thing. He's like, oh, here you go, Brian. And I was like,
yeah,
damn, that's cool. Like you're Matt
yeah,
Laidlaw,
yeah.
and you're responding to
No,
my
dude.
video.
Yeah, Matt. When I first started doing this, man, I had questions, especially after he dropped the video on the Fat Boy. I reached out to him on Instagram, messaged him, and he messaged me back. So we kind of talked back and forth quite a few times. But another great dude, man, and like totally, he's just a great guy, man. Another guy that's family man and all about bikes. And but it'd be cool, man. It'd be cool to kind of. I'm just excited, man. Every day I'm trying to learn something new, and that's why another reason why I watch a lot of these videos because no matter if you're learning about Senna's or Cardo Pack, you know, what do you call them? The comm systems or
Yeah.
whatever. to pipes, on certain, or tuners or whatever it is, man. Like you're never going to know unless someone's sharing that information,
Sure.
So, and that's why a lot of the stuff that I've gotten to, like random stuff, like I have a bunch of stuff that I've gotten and a lot of stuff that people have gotten for me, that I still haven't done yet. Cause obviously I don't want to just open up, cause I know when I go to open one of these packages, that's content that I want to share.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go, set it up for recording and whatnot. Cause I want to make sure that I'm doing it all one time. But there's a ton of packages. Oh man, my wife's gonna give me more crap. But anyway, it's in the garage.
There's
and
one or
they're
two.
yeah, it's a few, but and not a lot of the stuff's not too expensive. But like the chin mount, that's another thing. Shout out to chin mounts because I had reached out to them to ask them, hey, do you guys ever plan on getting one for the Scorpion, helmet, the R420, the EXO 420? And he's like, oh no, not yet. We haven't tested that out. I'll let you know. Well, 2 months go by. 2 months. The guy still had me. I guess he must. I don't know if he wrote it down on a piece of paper or what he did, but he sent me an email showing me, with the
That's
link
awesome.
to go. Yeah. And I was like, dude, this is freaking amazing. So I was like, dude, this is great customer service. So of course I got one. Well, I haven't put it on yet. And it's, goes right here in front of the helmet, which is how mine was before, but I had it, that part for the snap to go on for the GoPro, and then it was like a couple arms just to have it, somewhat in front. But it was like all this right here just to get here. And now with the chin mount, they finally made one for my helmet, so I'm looking forward to doing that.
And that's the other thing too that I've noticed. There's a lot of companies in the motorcycle space. I would say most of them that will give you the shirt off their back to help you. Like Legends. Now this speaks to how great my dealer, their service department is, or parts department. Went to buy Legends for my bike.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, no. Like, what do you mean no? Like, I'm just about to drop Legends money. Like, I'm dropping a lot of money here. He's like, no.
Right.
He's like, I want you to go home. I want you to call Legends. And I want you to talk to Legends. Because this was like 8 o'clock at night. He's like, I want you to talk to Legends and make sure that you're getting exactly what you need. Then you come back, I'll order them for you. He's like, but I don't want you buying these suspension parts for the hell of it.
Right.
And I called Legends and they bent over backwards for me. They're like, oh, it's no big deal. Because I bought the heavy duty shocks for my bike because we ride touring. And I'm like, okay, but what's the thing? Like, if it's just me, is it going to like throw me off the bike? Like,
Yeah.
They're like, no, this is what you do. And I was like, man, that's great customer service. Like you have a customer for life.
Right. Yeah. Just like Get Lowered. Those guys are amazing. Fuel Moto's another company that I like.
Get Lowered's not right down the road from me, but they're not that far.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So they actually have a store and whatnot. You can actually go. Wow, crazy.
Who is it? Hudson Motor Visual had his bike. He took his bike.
Oh, no way. Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, where are you at? Are you near all those guys? Like,
I'm in Jersey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did I already ask you if you knew about a little town called Cinnaminson, New Jersey?
Yeah. Cinnaminson's like right down the road. So
people always ask me, from being from the islands, like how come, I'm an Eagles fan and Phillies fan, Flyers fan. But I used to spend a lot of time in Cinnaminson.
No way.
Yeah. From like when I was 8 till about 12 or 13, my uncle used to take me there a lot. And his friends that we used to stay with, they had season tickets for the Phillies. Center field, first row.
Nice.
Right behind Lenny Dykstra.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So when I'd go visit, we'd always go, they'd always buy me, shirts and hats and beanies and all this stuff. And it was Phillies this and Phillies that. And finally they would send me stuff too. And then it was like the Eagles and the Flyers, and they would send me Sixers stuff too, but I never became a Sixer fan because I was always super scared of like Charles Barkley, like even though I was just watching him on TV, but the dude was just scared. When I was coming up, I was like, man, this dude's kind of scary. But yeah, I spent a lot of time there at Cinnaminson. So anyway, basketball was first, man. Awesome. But yeah, man. So that's how, and I have to keep explaining myself because like, my friends in Cali would always hate on me because I was living in San Francisco and I couldn't stand the Giants, the Sharks I could deal with. The Niners I couldn't stand either because I feel like, and especially the Golden State Warriors, geez, I just feel like a lot of my friends when I first met them when I moved to the Bay were fans of like the Lakers or I don't know, Detroit Pistons. I had a friend that was a Detroit Pistons fan, and then the Dubs start winning, and all of a sudden he's got brand new gear, Golden State Warriors, and then all these guys that when Kaepernick came to the Niners, and then all of a sudden they went from Dallas Cowboy fans to Niner fans. I'm like, you guys are kidding me, man. Like, so yeah, but anyway, New Jersey, I used to love visiting there, man, especially where they lived. It was so beautiful, man.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful.
So I live about 3 towns up, maybe.
Oh, no way, really?
Right on 130 on the main drive.
Yeah, I would, and I can't really remember how big of a place Cinnaminson was, but one day I'd love to just go back and visit. Because like I said, I spent a lot of time there coming up. Yeah, so I used to travel. My uncle took me everywhere. We do the Disneyland thing and Knott's Berry Farm and all that stuff in Anaheim. And and then we'd always go. Yeah, we spent some time in Chicago. But yeah, he was really close to them, his friends in Cinnaminson. So
cool.
Yeah, man, spent a lot of time there. Yeah, man. It's a little. Awesome. Yeah, so I got a lot of love for the East Coast, man. But I know there's a lot of good guys out there too. Bike, Spirits and Brews, and then obviously you, and then Flying Ride is another guy that I really enjoy.
Yeah,
he's another good dude.
There's a lot of people out this way. So as we wrap this up, first off, this has been. I mean, we could come back. Yeah, we could 4 more episodes. Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate it. Man.
No, and I really do appreciate your time and your openness. Yeah. So on social media, so your YouTube channel, do you post on any scheduled date? Or you try and stay to a schedule?
Yeah, I can't. I
I'm the worst with it. That's why I'm asking.
I can't, man. Yeah, in the beginning I was doing really well. I was out once, I think I was doing a drop every Friday, and then I did the Tuesday Talk Story Tuesdays thing every Tuesday, and then so I was doing the Tuesday Friday thing for a while, and then I fell off, and then I was just doing once a week, and then I went when I was traveling between here, San Fran, and Hawaii before I went back to work. I went like 3 weeks without dropping anything. Yeah. I was super bummed about it. So now I just I'm trying to get something out once a week. But again, I think my last video dropped last week, Monday, and here we are Monday.
Yeah, but I was watching a thing the other day and they were saying, especially as you start out, worry about the content, not the amount.
Yeah, right. I mean? No, because totally. Yeah,
I fell into that trap too. You're like, oh, I got to put something out. And you're like, oh,
yeah, yeah. Well, what frustrates me is that because the SC card is just filled with content. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so much stuff that goes back so far. Like my trip to Maui, like I was back home. Like even Maui, being on Maui with my cousin guys, I have a lot of good content there, even though it wasn't motorcycle related. Well, we did go. Unfortunately there's no Harley Davidson out there anymore. They closed down and they have a smaller shop, but I took my niece and my kids there and we took a look around, and I think they had like one Harley on the floor.
That's funny.
But there, that was months ago. So, cool. You know what I mean? So, I mean, just, we'll see, man. I'm just trying to do my best. I know, and I highly doubt anyone's like, man, when's this guy going to come out with this next video? I'm waiting for Harley Fat Boy Jr. to drop another video. I doubt it, man. But shout out to my subs, man. And shout out to the Motovlog community, Setzer Pendant, Salty and Sprinkles, Big Smitty, of course, Hell's on Two Wheels, Uncle Buffalo, El Buffalo is huge.
Yeah.
Bike Spears and Brews, Bolt Bucket, Iron Dundee. Sorry, I got to name these people.
No, do it.
This is what it's all about. Rhino. Do you follow Rhino?
I may. I don't want to put myself on the spot. Okay. I don't know.
You got to follow that guy. He's another one that should be at 1 billion subs, but another great one. Paul M.
Mm-hmm.
He did some stuff for me recently. Paul, mahalo, sir. Appreciate you. Windrow Therapy. Thank you so much. You're the best. She did have me on that mail call, and she's sporting a Lennox bracelet. So appreciate that. I think that's it, man. Flying Ride. There's a bunch of people. I can go on and on.
Yeah.
But if I forgot anybody, I apologize.
But maybe what we need to do is bring you back. We'll have Pro Monkey on, and then we'll have Big Smitty, and you can fight it out between the two of them. Be like a Man Crush Monday Royal Rumble or something.
I'm gonna tell you right now, man. That's probably not a good idea to have 3 of us on, man, because they're gonna copyright you, or not copyright you, but you'll get hit up for profanity and all that stuff.
Especially Smitty, that potty mouth on that boy. He's nice.
I love that dude, man.
Oh, I do too. I'm just giving him crap. Well, awesome. So we can follow you on YouTube, and I'll put all the links in the description for YouTube, Instagram, anywhere else?
Nope. Just right now, no, man. stop, bro. I'm
That's
still
enough,
learning
right?
Instagram. Yeah. And I have 2 accounts for Instagram, and I'm so sorry that I post on both because I don't know. I just should make it just one. But I have my personal one, and then I have my Harley Fat Boy one on Instagram. But yeah, it's all Harley Fat Boy Jr. YouTube, Instagram, right now, and it'll probably just stay like that because anything more to
No,
add on
I think that's
will
smart.
be too crazy. But shout out to all my subscribers, to all my followers, to my family, my wife and kids, everybody, for all the support. You know, obviously, I still feel like I'm a rookie motovlogger, just trying to
That's
get
awesome.
my crap together. But I appreciate all the love and support and all the people that sent me stuff, man, from GoPros to
Yeah.
all kinds of different accessories for GoPro, all that stuff. You guys are amazing. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's really awesome. So I will put a link down in the description. I hope everyone would check it out. And I do appreciate your time very much, sir. We're gonna have to do a second one of these for sure.
Yep, and you guys go follow Bri the Biker YouTube and Instagram too. This guy's amazing, man. Appreciate it, bro. Everything you do, man. Appreciate it. Keep doing
I
it.
appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure you subscribe to his channel. Thanks, guys.
All
Have a
right.
good one. Peace.
Aloha.